Hey,
Hey, how are you? I'm so glad
good.
you're able to be on the call. Can you hear me? Does this sound
Yes.
good? Hey, Tina, how are you? Okay, so Patricia, I got some messages from a couple of my clients that may have to jump on late or get off early.
Mhm.
Some may just call in by a phone because they can't get in. Hi, Stacy, because they're at work. So they're trying to do this while they're at work. So anyway, so if there is, there shouldn't be any problem because I'm making sure they come in muted. But
Problem.
there's
It's
no
a recording, so it's gonna be here.
exactly. Everybody supposed to be here is going to be here. And of course, I'll post this video on our private Facebook page for the Academy for those that miss. So anyway, great to see Tina and Stacy. We have a couple of other people I think that might jump on in a little bit. But Patricia, since I only know you have a limited amount of time with us today, I
I'm
definitely want,
sorry.
oh, no problem. I want us to get started. Hi, Africa. I want us to get started. That way we can have some magical time with you. And then I'll continue with the group, continue with more, clearings and stuff. So we're going to kind of do this a little bit like an interview process
Mhm.
to kind of open up the energy for the group. So I'm just going to start with a grounding just to kind of get us all together in a beautiful, connected group of conscious energy. And then I'll open it up so that you can share some magic about who you are and about the Akashic Record Institute, and then about our favorite topic, money.
That's fun.
I know it's one of your favorite topics. So anyway, so I know there'll be some people jumping on. So for those of you that are here, wonderful. I'm just going to send an intention for all those that are going to jump on later or watch this video later. I'm just asking that their energy be here and be present, connected to this beautiful heart circle of light and love and abundance and joy. So we're just going to begin right now by bringing everybody's consciousness here now. So I just want everyone right now to just drop into your heart space. So you can just close your eyes. If you want to, you can turn off your video camera. There's a little camera that says stop video at the bottom of your um, uh, menu there. And so if you wanted just to close the camera for a bit, you'll still be able to hear me. You just We just won't see you. So if you want to do that, you can do that for us to drop in and allow ourselves to get connected. So call in your beautiful beings of light and the teams of light that you work with. If you have special beings that are part of your path, call them in by name. Bring them in a circle around you right now. I'm going to call in the higher beings of light that want to be here. I'm going to call in the consciousness of money. I'm going to call in the beautiful consciousness of abundance and prosperity, asking those frequencies to surround us, to activate us, calling in that alignment to these beautiful frequencies of flow and abundance, these divine energies. The truth is, we are born to be abundant and prosperous, filled with joy. And when that is not our experience in life, it's because in some way we're not aligned to that frequency. Somewhere we're blocking it. Somewhere we're holding on to something conscious or subconscious that is keeping that flow from coming in. So I just want you to set an intention right now in your heart, an intention around money, abundance, prosperity, maybe your business. Set a very clear intention in your heart with beautiful, positive words so that you can align to the beautiful abundance that you already are and be willing to receive it and be opening to letting go of all those things that right now you may or may not realize are blocking your flow. So let's just set that intention as a group that whatever's ready to move, moves. Whatever's ready to go, goes. Whatever's ready to open for you, opens. Whatever's ready to align for you, aligns. What is ready to come into your life right here, right now, that it may come into your life right here, right now. With no efforting, with no pushing, with no ego willing, but just with a surrender of the heart, opening the heart to receiving the love that the universe has for you. And the universe shows you love, the divine shows you love in so many ways. One way the divine shows you love is through prosperity and abundance and money and opportunities. So we just want to open to all the ways that the universe wants to show us love today. So letting your heart open, expand, feeling that light fill up the room that you're in. You can even imagine a beautiful bouquet of roses blooming in your heart. And letting your heart energy truly open to receive deeply and to also create an exchange of giving deeply. And releasing out the fears, the worries, the doubts right now. Being here right now, present. And I want you to now feel your feet grounding into the earth, deep, thick, beautiful roots growing into the earth. Feeling yourself in a beautiful place in nature. Feeling yourself connecting to Mother Earth and to her beautiful energy. Mother Nature is very wealthy. She's very rich. As you continue to grow your roots into the earth, notice all the riches of Mother Earth. Her gold, her silver, all of her gemstones, oil, all those things that we value materially. Mother Earth creates them just naturally. So just allow yourself, as you're bringing your roots into the earth, to feel the abundance of Mother Earth and how much she loves you and how she just gives freely of her abundance to you. And let those roots keep growing all the way down to the center of Mother Earth, wrapping your roots around Mother Earth's heart, really feeling her holding you here now in your body, grounded in your body here now, releasing out the mind, releasing out the thinking, and then let Mother Earth send you a beautiful pulse of light up your roots, up your legs, up into the energy of the heart, activating and amplifying your heart even more so that that light extends out of the center of your chest even more into the neighborhood, maybe into the city you live in. Just let that light keep expanding. And then allow that light to rise right out the top of your head to connect to that divine light 300 feet above you. And imagine a beautiful luminous cloud of light. You can imagine it with beautiful colors. You can imagine it in any way. And just imagine that that connection that your light has to divine, it's always there. Whether you believe it or not, you're always connected to that divine light. You are a beautiful creation, an abundant creation of the divine. There is only infiniteness in this universe. In all the universes of God, there is only infiniteness. So connect to that infiniteness, which is actually your true nature. And I want you to call in this beautiful frequency of limitlessness, infiniteness. Let it just come down through the top of your head into your body, this infiniteness, this limitlessness. Feel that beautiful frequency starting to flow into every cell of your body, reminding you of who you truly are as a being of light. And letting your beautiful light expand, feeling that infiniteness, that limitlessness, the eternalness of who you are. Allowing anything that's ready to shift in your body right now, just let it shift. Just surrender. Let this beautiful energy of infiniteness and abundance and limitlessness, let it begin to shift. Anything that's ready to shift out that is a lie, that is not your truth, that is an illusion. And allow your body to surrender and begin aligning to the truth of your infiniteness. And also, we're going to bring in this beautiful energy of grace, inviting in that beautiful golden energy down from that cloud of light, allowing that golden energy to come down through the top of your head, flowing through your chakras into every cell of your body, so that you feel that golden light of grace in every cell of your body and then expand it out into the energy around your body. And we're going to ask this beautiful energy of grace to be here so that whatever's ready to shift for you, whatever's ready to release, whatever's ready to realign, whatever lies or illusions you're ready to let go of, whatever new frequencies you're ready to align to, we're asking grace to surround this entire experience so that only that which is best and highest for you happens today. We only ask for the highest of the highest of the highest for each of you in every moment. Know that you are a powerful co-creator with divine, and everything is done in divine co-creation. So today, Patricia and I are here holding a beautiful, powerful energy of love and light so that whatever wants to shift in this container shifts with grace, knowing that it is between you and divine what you say yes to. It is between you and the divine what you decide to allow into your life and what you decide to let go of that no longer serves your life. And we're here as beautiful conduits of love, as channels of that light, to open us all to the next levels of abundance that are all there waiting for us. There's always next levels for each of us in every moment. We just have to be ready to say yes to divine, because the divine's vision of us is so greater than our small little vision of ourselves. And it can feel scary to say yes to that. But today I actually bring forth a challenge to you to say yes to the bigger, abundant you. Even if it feels scary, just saying yes to it in your heart, knowing that the divine has got you, and whatever big thing the divine has set up for you, you're going to be taken care of. You're going to be guided if you listen and stay in your heart. So bringing all that beautiful energy into the heart right now, feeling the presence of your divine beloved self, the inner being of you, the higher self of you. It goes by many names. Feeling your higher self here, present. Let that part of you step forward right now. Let the mind, the egoic aspect of you step back so that you can be fully present to receive the great, amazing energies that are here for you, the gifts that are here for you today, the blessings that are here for you, that want to expand in your life from today forward. We invite in the higher angelic realms. We invite in the beautiful energies that want to be here, that are going to support you in the most perfect way. And of course, Patricia holds a beautiful conscious energy of the Akashic records and that beautiful conscious field of energy that she also is holding and bringing in for us today. So really allow the gifts to go deep, deep into your soul and say yes. Say yes today to all the blessings. And so just taking some slow, deep breaths, keeping yourself in your body, feeling your feet on the earth, feeling yourself really here now to receive. And opening to that beautiful, amazing energy, that limitlessness. And for the entirety of the call, really stay present to receive what's here for you. Really stay present to let things move for you. Let the emotions come up that need to come up. Let whatever needs to move, move. Be willing to be in a very soft, surrendered place right now so that the deepest shifts can happen for you that you and your life are ready for. And so a couple more deep breaths. And then slowly opening your eyes to get here and be present for this wonderful, amazing call we're going to have with Patricia. And if you want to turn on your video, you can. We're going to have Patricia do a short little intro about herself. I did put a link on our Facebook page about her that you can go watch if you haven't watched it. But I want her to give a quick intro about herself and what she does and the magic that she brings concerning the Akashic records and then her alignment to wealth and money. She has a really amazing story concerning money. She's actually not from this country. She came from Brazil, and she has made an amazing, amazing business grow astronomically in a really short amount of time. And she's a beautiful servant of the heart. She really does everything with lots of love and light. And I actually met her in my 6-month speaker training program. And she was such a light in the room, I had to get to know her and meet her. So Patricia, I'm so glad you're here. I would love to have you share a little bit about yourself, and then we'll go into a couple of interview questions about the Akashic records, because some people here may not know exactly what the Akashic records are. And then maybe, I don't know if this is something you do, but kind of reading the group energy and thinking, what does the Akashic records have to say about our group energy, and maybe something that needs to be brought into awareness about a shift around money or something along those lines. So
Sounds awesome. So thank you, Linda, for the beautiful introduction, for the beautiful grounding, and I'm just really feeling present. Thank you so much.
oh, you're welcome.
And hello, everyone. Such an honor to be here with you. Those of you here live and those of you watching the replay. There is a little, I'm listening a little background on the sound. Are you guys listening to?
You know, maybe it's, what if I put myself on mute?
Okay. Yes. Yes, that's better. Maybe it was both our energies together. So yeah. So thrilled and honored to be here. So Linda asked me to share a little bit about my story. So as she shared, I came to the United States with a few years ago. I knew nothing or no one. My English was very, very, very primordial. It's like, it's, you know, I don't even consider myself, you know, I'm still, I never really like learn English very well, like going to school and all, but I kind of just came in here. And so when I came, I just had the desire to change scenarios, to discover what I was made of. And I had really all I had was $600 and a airplane ticket that I could come back to Brazil if things went wrong. So I really came in to as an adventure. So so fast forward, when I came here with those $600 in my pocket and a bag full of dreams, as I say, hidden inside that little bag was my victim mentality. And that creates, you know, that brought me the opportunity to realize, you know, what was, oh, how my life was being headed. And that victim mentality threw me to the side of the freeway few years ago when I was in an unfulfilled marriage, unfulfilled business. I was working for a company. I was actually not having my own business yet. And there was the moment that I went to the end of the hole and I had to do something different. It was the first time that I had to stop looking, trying to find answers outside of myself. And I created the opportunity to start looking inside. So that brought me to the awareness to start working with healing, develop my intuition, and I was guided to work with the Akashic records. And when I started working with the Akashic records, everything changed. First, I started integrating the Akashic records with the business at the time that was healing and branding. I was doing this all-in-one marketing and branding for other business owners. And there was a moment where we can actually talk about that because it's very pertaining to money. But there was a moment where I was called to stop doing what I was doing. And that's when it was really a knock on the head from my higher self to start the Akashic Records Institute. And I really believe that, you know, when you have a desire and when you come from heart, everything is possible. You have in front of you a girl that came here with $600 in my pocket. And just last year, we made $500,000 in revenue in the business. So everything is possible. And if my story cannot show possibility, I trust that you will find, you know, opportunities start showing up for you when you start looking different at yourself, at your business, and at what you're doing, and really shifting to how you want to feel as you move forward towards your desires. So I'm going to let Linda unmute yourself so we can, I just don't want to be going on and on and on. I want to kind of be short. So
Perfect. So for those that maybe don't know exactly, they've probably heard about the Akashic Records. What would be the best definition you have of what the Akashic Records are?
I like to explain the Akashic Records as a house with 1,000 rooms. And each room of this house, you have an opportunity to dive deeper in your soul, in the agreements that you made, and and looking from this bigger perspective of, you know, what it is that you're doing that you get yourself, you know, in sabotage. And so you get this opportunity to step forward in, and it works with all areas of your life: relationships, money, business. All of us at some level love to make ourselves stay where we are, right? So when you shift and take that step back, you get this big picture of really what's going on, and the perspective and the opportunities that are within the people or situation that you have in your life right now.
Beautiful. So basically, it's going into kind of the library of your life.
Yes.
You're able to find lots of detail about not just this life, but maybe past lives or your ancestry, things like that. So it's like you said, this massive library that each person has, and that there's also an Akashic record, obviously, for the whole universe of
Yes.
everything that's ever happened, right?
Yes.
Okay. So is it true that you can look at Akashic records for even countries and for, okay, that's what I heard, and for whole cultures, things like that? Wow.
Yes, yes. It's we've been teaching for, our business, the Akashic Records Institute, is gonna turn 5 years this year, and it's every year there's more, classes coming up in different aspects, and it's becoming, and we're going through this transition that we are shifting to the Akashic Records University, because there is so much more, and you just at each training you just go deeper and deeper into different aspects. It's just amazing. It's just
So, so for instance, when it comes to the Akashic records, and let's say that somebody is struggling around issues with money, either money flow, or it comes in and disappears, or they just have never really had a big flow of money in their life, or their business is kind of stumbling and wobbling right now. Like, what would be a way that the Akashic records could assist you? And can anyone with a clear heart tune into the Akashic records? Or do you have to be actually somehow, anointed to enter the Akashic records? I've always had a question about that.
yes, that's a great question. Everyone can access the Akashic Records. And in the training we have students that just wanted to work with the Akashic Records for themselves. So you don't have to become an Akashic Records practitioner. And we also have students that want to become Akashic Records practitioners. And so anyone can tune, and it's almost like, and it is like a station that you tune into it. So the first step is to develop your intuition, understanding how you receive information, so you can decode the message that you're getting. Like, you can come and learn how to access that. We in the institute, we use a key of access that brings you to the dimension of the records, so you can learn the key of access on the first day, believing that you're there. That's what you have to work on if you haven't worked with developing intuition. So it's more about understanding how you're receiving information, and also slowing down. So we are so used to see things to go on in the automatic, and if you see, like, actually, if you look about science, and you actually, what we see, it's like upside down, that we learn how to make it so we're seeing things in the way that they are, right? So here is the same thing. When you start working with the Akashic records and developing that connection, you have to unlearn the way you've been perceiving yourself in life, and start shifting everything, and it's like embracing everything. And the biggest thing in the first class that we talk about is like, slow down, like, take life, imagine that you take like your first breath, life as a 1-year-old, and start looking at with curiosity to everything. And the one thing that you also have to be extremely cautious, not only with working with Akashic records, but also with developing money consciousness and shifting a relationship with money, is your mind, right? Like, understanding that the mind always wanted to be safe, and there's a reason that for some reason it took some people just now, they wanted to connect to the Akashic records. There are many agreements that it wasn't safe, right? So the mind tries to protect and wanted to be what it is. With developing intuition, connect to the Akashic records, or making more money, you want us to be safe. So it's very important to develop that identity, and that's where also the Akashic records can come in. I developed this technique where you can download your identity of lifetimes or different skills that you develop in different lifetimes, and you can reconnect and realign with that identity and embrace that identity. today as you move on in your life.
Wow. So right now, are there ways to access like the Akashic records for like groups? So for instance, the group
Mm-hmm.
of us that are here,
Mm-hmm.
that energetically are here right now as well. Like what does the Akashic record say about just in general money and wealth and how it flows in and out, and what are the main issues we typically have, you know, as humans around really allowing that flow of energy that we all want, especially if we have been singing on a frequency that's kept us from it.
Mm-hmm.
Like what does the Akashic record say about all of that having to do with wealth and money and flow and alignment and frequency?
Yes. Well, what we can do, I can tune into the records of this group with your permission, because this is your class. If you want to, you need to give me the permission, give the name of the class, and we can just see what, what is that is, because this was interesting. We are talking about, I was actually thinking like what it is that, what can we bring to work on like energetic debt, identity that will most support the group. So if you wanted to give me your permission,
Yeah.
we can do that for those that are here, for those that are in your training that will be coming to the replay.
Okay, so the name of this group is the Awaken Your Light Academy 2019.
Okay.
And so there's about 12, possibly 13 people total in the group. There is one of them is actually one of your students.
Oh,
So anyway, so yeah, so I know that she had already said yes to the energy of wanting to be called in today since she couldn't be here. So if everybody else is a yes, obviously you just say yes in your heart to the field and the field knows, and then Patricia can connect.
all right. Yeah, so we're gonna look into the energy and see what's the message for the group. Okay, so just give me a minute. I want to invite everyone to close your eyes and tune in to whatever is in your perception, your relationship with money. And just give me a moment. So when I tune into the group, I got this river, and it felt peaceful, and it felt like, like those cattle, like when you go into a place that has cows, that you have like those things that you have to actually walk through that. So that was kind of like the energy that I felt tuning into the group. And I asked like, what is the biggest thing? And what it came is permission. So give yourself permission. So one interesting thing that I actually did that last year with my husband, and it was very funny. I was just meditating, and I just heard like, you have to ask your husband permission to 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 actually make $500,000. And I actually asked him permission, and it was like at the time. And look how interesting that at that time he was working for a company. At that time he quit his job last year, so at the time he was working for a company, we had like over $100,000 in a mortgage, in a house mortgage, and we wanted to pay off a house. And so all these things were happening, and it's like, so actually I was like, we came to me and said, do you give me permission to make $500,000? And he was like, sure. But it's kind of like my husband is like, he's not like, he's very sarcastic, right? So he's like, sure. And it's like, but it's like almost like energetically, and I kind of I was serious. I was like, it's really like energetically, I feel like I need to ask you this. And it's like, really, I wanted to really search and actually give permission and actually feel, what this is going to bring in. And it's kind of like a few months after he quit his job, we pay off a house. And it was just kind of like this thing is just kind of like, just by asking permission, things start changing. So who in your life you wanted to ask permission? It's just kind of like, and the thing is, there are unconscious agreements that we make with other people. And I know the agreements here that you make, and when I say you, it's you that I was watching this video, the unconscious agreements that we make with the people that we know. And even like I had clients that would be like, they would not make more money than their parents because they unconsciously feel if they make more money, they would dishonor their parents. So there are all these unconscious things that hold us back from getting what we want. The other thing, yes.
So I have a question because I keep getting this energy. I had an awareness that in my case, there's several possible people I need to ask, but I also got the hit. I need to ask my own businesses, consciousness of my businesses, permission to make more money. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because I feel like it's my business. I need to ask, I have a jewelry business and then I have this business. And I feel like I need to ask my businesses.
Yeah.
Can we make more money? Do we just ask that and then sit in a meditative state with either the people or the business, or do we actually have to go to the specific? I know in your case you had to go to your husband, but let's say that the person has passed. Do we just speak in our heart to that person if we feel that's who we're needing to ask permission of?
You can speak in your heart. You can write a forgiveness letter. I'm sorry for have put on you, for have created a story that you would not be happy with me making this for us, or so it's kind of like it's the interpretations that we make, right? Of course, my husband wanted us to make more money, and that gave him the possibility to let go of a job that they hated and him hated, and try to figure out what he's going to do now. And he's doing like, online, have an online store now. So it's kind of like he's trying different things and he's having fun, right? So it's kind of like when my unconscious fear, whatever it is that it was that I was holding myself back, when I put that out there, it cleared the pathway for other things to start showing up.
So it could be an unconscious story that, at least in my case, I'm telling about my businesses, or an unconscious story I'm telling about someone in my life that maybe if I made more, that person would either stop being my friend or leave my life or something along those lines, or just decide that, they weren't my friend anymore because we weren't the same now that I'm at a different, money level or something like that. So it's these stories that I'm in some way telling and sending on a frequency, and so blocking that flow from coming in. Is that kind of, am I understanding that right?
Exactly. Yeah. Give yourself permission. It is like, like the biggest word for the group is permission. Give yourself permission. And it's kind of like, and the more you are, I feel like, the chances that I take in my business today are very different than the chances I was taking when I was in business for like 2 months or 6 months or 1 year, right? so it's kind of like that permission, that confidence to give yourself permission, and also give yourself permission. The other thing that is coming through for the group, give yourself permission to get it wrong, right? And it's kind of like, if consciously or unconsciously you're afraid to fail, I want to invite you to look at, there is a privilege in failure. You can't get it, you get it wrong so you can get up again and try something different, right? Not try the same thing, but try something different. There is a privilege in failure, and there is this, when you open up to what shows up from a result of an action, and instead of resent that, look for the gift inside. There is so much. The other thing too, like about, I want to invite everyone to look at energetic debt. Like, if maybe there is anyone in your life that you owe money, or maybe someone that borrowed money from you and did not pay back. The way, if you're holding on to that energy, it's one of the things. Remember when I said I saw the picture for the river? One of the things is, how are you holding on past situation, exes, or parents, friends, someone that hired you for a service and did not fulfill their part, or something, or someone that is holding you energetically regarding that. But there is the energetic that like keeps yourself looking at that. And that was one of the stories that I said, if we have time, I actually want to share that, because it's very important. It's very pertaining to business. Remember when I shared that I was doing branding and Akashic records and healing, and I was working with, conscious women, a lot of goddesses, and that was the energy. And then I had this 8 man that I had a very, in suit, asking to design the brand and the website. And because of fear of, every client that would come, I would always say yes at that time, right? So because of fear of scarcity at that time, I took those clients, even though with every single cell of my being, I was like, ugh. And, and of course it went to, everything went to the worst case scenario possible. And it's like, 8 men, each one wanted something different. So I would design something that they asked, and then they wanted something else. So that gave me a beautiful lesson of something that I work a lot nowadays, is boundaries, like working on your boundaries. So I got so many lessons from this experience. But what happened is, I delivered them the website, and they were like cooking me, like, oh yeah, we're gonna pay you next month. Oh, we're gonna pay you in a week, and we're gonna, that energetic that. And at the time, I was calling them when they would say, because, and what I understood through the Akashic records, it wasn't the money, and it was, at the time, it was, I think, like $1,600 that they owed me. And it wasn't the money, but for me, was very important that they fulfill their promise to pay for the service they got, because for me, that's, I would tell myself I was being valued. So when every single person, like when there is, it's not the money, for me, it wasn't the money, it was, if they don't pay me, they're not valuing me. And so for me, it was, that, and I was holding on to that energy. And it was at the time that people were asking me to teach Akashic records, and I was like keeping everything at bay because I was holding on to the energy. And then I went to my Akashic records. I went to my Akashic records business. And I'm like, and then so what I got from my guides was to actually write down like a expense. So I actually wrote down, if you're ready to cut, any energetic debt in your life, someone that owe you money, or, anything in those lines, write down a tax loss. So I wrote down a check. So I actually got one of my checks and I put there the business name and I put $1,600 and I put, lesson about value. So I wrote that check down and I let it go. I said, keep it. It's going to come back 10 times fold to me. And I'm letting go. I'm letting go of that energy. I kid you not, within a month, I launched my Akashic Records Institute, and guess how much money the very first class came through? I made $16,000. So I actually did make that. So there is a power in letting go and trust that what's yours is always going to come back to you multiplied. But when you're holding on to that energy, you're holding yourself back from what it's really here for you, for the gift that situation. So that situation taught me so much about the importance of boundaries. And I started studying about boundaries. I started working energetically with boundaries. And I started attracting people that wanted to work their boundaries. So this is one of the things. And then the value, self-worth, like raising your self-worth, letting go of any attachment that you think you need to get all clients that show up in your life. If it's not aligned, it's going to be, if you see the red flag, run the other way. So it's there were so many lessons, and the biggest lesson, trust that, if it doesn't happen in the way that you think you wanted to make it happen, that your mind thinks they wanted to make it happen, just surrender to, not like out of letting go control, but surrender by, lift it to the divine, lift it to no longer think that you have to control things, think that you're the one who actually makes things happen with your hands.
Right. Oh my God, that's beautiful information. And so, so I love this experience that you said you had, where you actually wrote it off as a tax loss, and then it came back to you months later because you finally let the whole energy of it go, because you were assigning that particular not getting paid with, they don't value me. So it was your own story again. It was a story you were telling yourself that somehow that means you're valued or not.
Yeah.
So that can actually show up in a lot of different areas in our life, it sounds like. So my other question is, so, okay, that's if somebody owes you. So let's say that you have credit card debt or school loan debt or other kinds of, debt. It could be a mortgage. It could be something that, or layers of that. What would be kind of like a practice that would help to alleviate the, it's like, obviously you have to stay in alignment because you do owe that money, right? But maybe you're not in a place financially where you can actually pay it all off quickly. So what would be like a practice from the Akashic Records that has maybe worked for your clients in the past?
Great question. First of all, most people there are in debt. I've been in debt, so but so I speak for myself too. It's very, very important to separate your identity from the identity of someone that is in debt. So it's like, bring yourself to the present time and see the attitudes and the debt as the attitudes and the mindsets and the actions from the past, from before, not from today, you in the present time. So it's kind of like this separation. It's very important. Looking at that, it represents who you were an hour ago, a week ago, a year ago, 10 years ago, but not who you are today. Because if you bring that, you put that into your identity, it's you're going to create, you're going to recreate that situation, and your ego wanted to keep you in that, that. So first thing is to separate and just declare that my debt represents my actions, my thoughts, and my decisions from the past. Today I choose different. And it really, and it's the ownership of it, it's very important. It doesn't matter the amount. I think, from one day things just completely disappear. But when you decide to take ownership for it, and if it's for a person, and if it's like, whatever the amount is, but if it's a friend, I don't have the money. I can do $10 today, whatever it is. But I wanted to come, and if you put something, there is an energy into, actually, I find that there is an energy to not only work energetically but also physically. It's actually putting some money, it's even like getting an envelope and putting $10 in the envelope every week or something with that person's name, and you tell the person, can you give me 1 more month until I'm going to start taking action. And it's like that $10 is going to bring you more money to fill that up. There is this different energy that happens when you take ownership. Um, and then everything starts changing, and it's like things start showing up because you separate yourself from that identity. When you look at manifestation, you don't manifest what you don't have, you manifest who you're being. So it's going back to the being. So for that, you need to separate the identity of the that. And as you every day put like $10 on that thing, you are being integral with yourself, with your word, with what it is. And it don't look at the amount as the big amount, because everything can shift when you are. And it's like, if you put in $10, you are shifting your identity. I am someone that is being responsible and I'm doing my part. I'm putting $10 more now, and more will come. And really things really show up.
Wow, that's beautiful. I love the concept of separating out the old you that created the debt with the you right now, so that you don't keep creating the debt. That's just genius. But I know you're going to have to leave in just a little bit, so I wanted to make sure to open up the call to anybody on the call right now based on what you've shared so far. If anybody has any questions about anything that Patricia has shared, all you have to do is just unmute yourself by clicking the little microphone. If there's something you want to share, you want to ask, or something wasn't clear that she shared that you want to really understand more deeply, let me look at the chat, because I think, okay, so Tina had a question. Does that also work with something you want to create that is not there yet? So maybe something that costs a certain amount of money, you want to create it, but right now you don't have it. With this,
Yes.
okay.
Yes. So just a little different, but that's a great question. So just a little different. I'm still listening a little background noise, just so if you guys wanted to mute yourself in case, then you can unmute. So yes. So, and again, the biggest thing is the identity. Who are you being? So how do you create something that is not there? By tuning in, and in the Akashic Records, you can actually do that. You can tune in to you few weeks from now, or whatever that time is. Time doesn't matter anyways. It's all about alignment, and shifting to what is the identity of the person that creates that. Does that person has focus? Does that person trust? What is the one identity that would most that would be the identity of the person that have that, create that for themselves. Everything is possible. And the biggest thing is, I like to say, the solution is already around you. I have so many stories I want to share, but but the solution, when you shift it to the solution is already around you, it is really already around you. So many times I saw that happening over and over again. But when you shift it to, like, think about what is the identity of the person that creates that, and everything starts, start taking actions on that identity. So if I'm a person that trusts today, what is the action that I'm going to take? And go back to that trust, go back to focusing on that trust.
Oh, that's beautiful. So basically, who do I need to be to actually create that situation, or to be able to pay for that, whatever that is, or to be able to invite that into my life? So who do I need to be? So right now I'm this, but ask, kind of your divine, what do I need to be and like you said, your identity, like what kinds of things, what kind of qualities or characteristics do I have to express or be in energetically so that that situation manifests for me?
Yes. And, one more thing about that is, do I really want this, or this is coming from ego, or coming from, that everybody has to have a six-figure business, and there's this whole myth of when you make more money, you keep more of the money that you make. It's a whole another conversation, but it's like, you look at people that are making like $1 million, $5 million, $500,000, whatever that is. The more you make, the more you have to pay people. So it's kind of like, it's very interesting from looking through the money mindset, the money perspective, that sometimes you have this, myth of the six figures or whatever that is, that it's, if you're just looking at the number, you may not be happy when you get it. So it's like, how I want to feel, why I want that amount of money. Like, is that because of my family? So that way it's like, let's say you're working very hard and you wanted to spend more time with your daughter, with your son, right? So when I make more money, I'm going to spend more time with my daughter. You see how you're pushing to the future. So find something to spend time with your daughter today for an hour, something that you don't have to spend the money. So it's like, what is the things that you keep telling yourself that you will do when, and do it now? Because you're not only tuning into the identity, but you're also taking the actions now. And it's like, and then when you come to a place that it doesn't really matter if you make the money or not, because you're already being that person, the money shows up. It's simple.
So it's a technique to help you align to the frequency through the way you feel, so that then it then shows up. Because what I have noticed to be the issue over and over again, not just with even looking at my own life, but also working with other clients around money issues, is that they think, if I get this first, that thing I want, then I'll feel this way. But actually what you're saying, we need to reverse that. We need to feel the way we want to feel, if that was in our lives, and then it shows up because we're now in the frequency alignment with it.
Yes.
Okay. So it's about feeling first, of course, and then inviting that frequency to bring in the things that match it.
Exactly.
It doesn't have to be six figures, seven figures. It could be something completely different that brings you the greatest joy. You thought it was money, but actually it's not. So if you keep focusing on money, you're going to continue to maybe attract it, but you're not going to be happy with it. Is kind of what you're saying. Okay.
Exactly.
That makes sense. So does anybody else have any questions that you might have for her? Either you can type them into the chat or you can unmute yourself.
You got muted.
Oh, and there's Katie. She's one of the students in your program.
Hi.
Hi, how are you, Patricia?
You're good.
Hey. It's nice to see you. Good. Anyway, I jumped on this kind of late because I was at work, so I'm just gonna listen in.
Beautiful background. Nice.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, this is Blue Hole in Wimberley, Texas. Really, really pretty nature preserve.
Very nice.
All right, I'll mute myself.
Anybody else have any questions or anything, any particular thing you want more clarification on before she has to run?
I have one more question about clearing maybe ancestral agreements that you're not aware of, that, which I think a lot of times they're, or like I was thinking as you were talking, also, I'm an artist, so there's always this sense of starving artist. Or if you ask for too much, who the heck are you? That kind of energy that is out there, and really respecting, like being part of a community where people don't expect to pay more, and having to and seeing a different vision of that for me, and yet not living in that space. So just your sense of that.
Absolutely. Yeah. I have a huge Brazilian community, and the culture in Brazil is like, you know, used to be. We're changing on that. It's not spiritual to make money, to ask for money, right? So that definitely comes from ancestors, that comes from your experiences in your parents as growing up, and past agreements that you made regarding money and all that. So when you work with that in the Akashic Records, that's your question, right? So shifting, going to that moment where the soul made that conscious or unconscious agreement, and shifting and giving opportunity for that, you know, break the contracts and integrate the gifts that the part of you like withheld from yourself. So but it's also cultural. There is also cultural. I see that in Brazil. There is also like cultural agreements, and then that comes with, you know, also like the triggers in your body, like regarding the memories, the timeline of memories from this lifetime too, where, you know, the situations where you went to ask for money, and, you know, and all these things, and and the needs to be accepted, the need to be liked. All of us have that at some level, right? So, you know, and also, you know, also regarding money, like, you know, making judgments or interpretation of others, or what they can do or they cannot do, right? So we make those judgments. They can pay me, they cannot. And it's like, I don't judge anyone. I see everyone as empowered to create the reality that they want. And because of that, you know, I see everyone as totally capable of create whatever they need to create, to invest in themselves. And if they are not ready, they're not ready. Like, I have no attachment of people like working with me or paying with me. Like, I share from my heart, and I know that those who are aligning will come, and those who are not are just going to create space for those who are aligned. So it's like the detachment, it's very important, and not making a story of, if they pay for my artwork, my work, they are valuing me, right? Because it has, anytime you're having a sales conversation, it has nothing to do with you. The conversation they have in their mind, it's all about themselves and how they are perceiving themselves. And if they don't give themselves the opportunity for growth, for having a beautiful piece of artwork with them, that's on them, not you.
Oh, that's a beautiful explanation. Or that they pay or not. Yeah, there's so many layers. I know that when I have worked with money issues for myself and with other clients, there's always all these layers. Just like you're saying, there's these ancestral layers, there's the cultural layers, there's, you know, the triggers in the body from past memories of money issues, let's say with family, etc. And then there's all these other stories that we tell on top of that. So I've always had, me personally, I've always had a question: is there like one particular type of tool that you know of? It might not be the Akashic Records, I don't know, that kind of swipes through all the layers and clears them pretty quickly. I mean, is there anything that you know of? Is there a certain way that you need to step into,
Mm-hmm.
you know, alignment for something like that, so all these layers can clear, you know, in one fell swoop, versus a little bit here, a little bit there?
It depends of the capacity to receive of the person. I held like group healings, and we are able to work at many different layers, but there is also that it's almost like, if I clear everything, the person doesn't know who they are anymore, right? So it's kind of like there is these, you know, layers, and the process of going through. I do have to go. I can see if I can, my husband's going to drive us. I can see if you wanted to, if you have more questions, I can get on my iPhone. I have to do my eye exam, and we have an appointment. I can't hear you.
I said I promise I'll only keep you on for your 50 minutes because I know you have another appointment. But let's see, Africa said she had a question about soul contracts. Do you want to just ask that real quick, Africa? And then
I actually have to leave right now. I'm so sorry. I have 15 minutes to get to my doctor.
Well, then what I'll do is, can I just email it to you, and then I'll
Yeah,
post your
yeah.
answer.
Yes, absolutely.
I-
Absolutely. I'm so sorry I have to go, guys.
Thank you so much for being here. The rest of you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Lali, we are doing a read.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We'll invite Patricia back again for some more fun.
Yes.
I'll be happy to come back. Sorry I have to go. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Well, not bye,
Bye.
y'all. Oh, isn't y'all can unmute yourselves if you want. She brought up a lot of stuff. The energy's still here in the field, so we're going to do some clearing on this, around this. And so it's so interesting because, you know, this morning I was thinking about the call we were going to do today. I was kind of tuning into the energy of that, into the energy of the Akashic records, because the Akashic record energy, even though I'm not personally trained directly in it, it's always been an energy that has been around me. And so sometimes when I access information, I kind of ask spirit, so where is it coming from? And sometimes it's coming from that field of energy where all the information is stored. So as Patricia said, anyone can access the Akashic records. I really, truly believe that. And if you don't believe that, you got to move your belief system into that space. I received actually years ago when I was learning all these different modalities. One thing that I was told in one of my meditations was that those of purest heart can access pretty much any modality field that exists in the field, because it was there given to us by the divine. It was created there, and so anyone who has the frequency to be able to access it can. So just to give all of you that kind of impetus to say, okay, so if there's some information I need to access concerning something I need to know about myself, I can with pure heart access that particular piece of information about myself so that I can make some different decisions in the now moment. So if you go online, there's a lot of, maybe I'm going to mute you because of your wind. That's okay. So if you go online and you look up there's a prayer to open up the Akashic records, so you can actually go online. There's several people that have it printed. Some people have changed the prayer a little bit, but there's a prayer that you can go online and look up, the Akashic record prayer to open up the records. You can also, I'm hearing, create a prayer before you open up the records, that only that which is in alignment for you that you can access. And of course, when you're working with the Akashic records, you're working in this massive library where all the information is there. And you probably don't want to go down certain library halls and access certain information, especially if it's not your information. So my guidance was, don't go into somebody else's library unless they've asked you to and you're in a session with them together. So, it's not that would be not being in your integrity. So the one thing that I would say as you're, accessing knowledge, make sure that it is in alignment for you and that you're not crossing boundaries. As Patricia said, boundaries are so important. So I'm going to tune into some of this energy that came in today. And Africa, why don't you just ask the question that you were going to ask her so that we can just bring it into the field here, because it may be that the answer shows up. Let me unmute you. Oops. There we go.
There we go. Okay, so my question about soul contracts, because I've been getting different hits lately too, and one of them's been around soul contracts and helping people work with them, and I'm pretty sure this is like the crazy part of my mind, that's like, if someone breaks a soul contract, there was a reason prior to incarnation that they decided that this was a good thing.
Right.
So then to go back in and break said soul contract, what's the ripple effect? Or is there a ripple effect?
Oh, that's a really good question. Yeah, that would be a great question for Patricia to look into the records about. But I know that there have been several moments when I've worked with clients where I got the guidance that these particular contracts need to end because they were based in a karmic experience from the past that's not even in this lifetime, that they're feeling they need to keep punishing themselves, and so they continue these soul contracts. So this, I'm talking personally in my case with my now ex-husband, we had many soul contracts over something like 80 something lives. And so in the work that I did with my with another practitioner years ago, she was basically saying, you know, this particular soul contract isn't really serving your life. It's actually blocking you from moving forward. And so in this case, you have to give permission to let go of your end of the soul contract. Now, the other person, they don't, I mean, you know, it's up to them if they want to keep playing around with their end of the soul contract. But the message that I heard was that if one releases, the other soul is actually given permission to also release that soul contract because it's not serving. Now, based on what I understand about energy and the way our universe is connected, is there a ripple effect? I'm hearing yes, but we don't need to assume it's going to be negative. See, we assume that the ripple effect is going to be, oh, some horrible things are going to happen. My understanding is if a soul contract is being presented as something that really isn't serving the now moment and what your soul now wants to begin creating, because this was created in an old energy, like she said, this is an old energy that was created in. If it's not serving in the present moment moving forward with what you want to create now, then to release that soul contract, the ripple effect is going to be quite positive. And I can just say for me in the soul contract that I ended with my ex, there's been obviously many positive things that have happened since then. You know, of course, the going through the actual divorce was not positive. However, everything that has come from it and the growth that I've been able to experience personally, whoa, I mean, that needed to happen. We had way too many lives with these contracts and it just wasn't serving anymore. So that was at least my personal experience with the soul contract that I cleared up with him, that actually opened up a whole new world for me that I feel would not have opened up in the way it has had I stayed with him and continued that particular soul contract. But then of course, who knows, right? I just know that horrible bad things in the end did not happen in that case. But is there ripple effects? Yes, I would say assume they're going to be good if it's a contract that needs to end. Tina?
No, I was just speaking to that because I know I've read where sometimes someone agrees to be a caretaker of someone and they go through this disease and it's like their soul really wants them to have this growth, even though their personality might be like, I don't want to do that. And so not to just jump in. And I think that sometimes holds me back from moving forward too.
Yes. So
because I don't know. And so I'm like, who am I to make that decision? So that was a great question, Africa.
Right. So, Tina, my question.
Hi.
Okay,
Hi.
let me finish with Tina.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Back to you.
Let me mute.
What I'm hearing is that the who am I that you actually said that several times on this call. I'm hearing strike that from your vocabulary. That's what I'm hearing from the field, because it has an undertone of, you know, I am nobody, I'm not worthy, I'm not valued. I mean, it's not who I know you believe you are. It's actually, I can see it right now. It's actually coming from family energy, and it feels very strongly on your mother's side. So it's about the devaluation of women in your culture. And it's a story that's been told for a long time because it comes from the masculine structure in your culture that devalued the women and devalued them in so many ways for whatever reasons. I don't know a whole lot of story about your culture, just bits and pieces of it. But I'm hearing that it was really the masculine that devalued the feminine, and the feminine aligned with it. And to this day, when any woman in your culture wants to really step up to the next levels, it's this programming that just gets clicked in like, who am I? Who am I? Who am I to do this? Who am I to do that? You know, even little things, I'm hearing that programming pops up, right? Yeah. So I'm hearing that for you, it's about saying, wow, who am I to not do this, right? Like flip it. Okay. That this, I want to bring liberation to all the women in my culture by being the one who does the opposite of that, the one who chooses not to align to the lie and to the illusion that so many generations in my culture and in my family have. So this is a way that you can be the frequency of liberation for your family lineage, especially around women, sisters, aunts, mothers, grandmothers, etc. So, I mean, I can already feel that shifting already. So it's about you catching yourself when that little program comes in and go, oh, nope, that was the old program. That's who I used to be. Here's the new me. The new me is, who the hell am I not to do this? So that you can really open up and allow, you know, the real, true, powerful you to come forth, because you are the one who's kind of like the light, I'm going to use saver, the lightsaber, not saber, for your family lineage. It's like you're bringing in a huge new frequency of light that's going to shift all of this for the generations that come after you. That includes your son, your grandchildren, all of that. So I'm hearing that there is a level of courage you have to step into, and that even if other women in your culture and other people in your culture say things like, who are you to sell your pieces for that amount, or who are you to blah blah blah, you know, Cancer Clear Delete, don't focus on it, don't align with it, bless them, because they're caught up in a programming, and that, you know, you're going to do the opposite. you're going to keep showing them who you are. Well, let me show you who I am. Since you asked that question, who are you? Let me tell you who I am. And you do it with grace and with compassion, and you show them who you are, and they'll be sitting there with their jaw drop going, wow. So does that make sense? Okay. Let's see here. I'm going to unmute you, Katie. Okay. So, wait.
That
Here we go. There we go.
did it work? Okay.
I can hear you.
And I was just gonna second pretty much what you're saying, and also add in that in the Akashic records there's vows. So since we all had tons of previous lifetimes, there's times when we've made vows that are not necessarily for our highest good in this life. And so it's okay, in fact, preferable to break the vows.
Yeah.
So that's all I wanted to chime in with is that. So, but Africa, when you were talking about contracts, were you meaning like positive higher purpose contracts, or just vows? What were you meaning with that?
Good question.
I'm thinking, you know, now that you said there's vows and there's soul contracts, I think in my head I'm thinking vows, because you vow to do X, Y, or Z for someone. Let's say a mother is in an accident with her kids and she's trying to comfort her kids, and she just asks that her kids die before her so that they don't feel alone or abandoned.
Mm-hmm.
And then she carries that into the next lifetime. I guess that's more of a vow than
Yeah.
a contract.
I think contracts and vows probably are the same thing. I guess I just meant like higher purpose versus a vow / contract.
Okay, yeah. I mean, my hope is to, or I call it, people with purpose. But to really dive, I'm just wondering, well, if you break a soul contract like that one, I would think it would be a good thing, like Linda was saying, and there'd be some positive of it. But sometimes, like Tina was saying, what if it was, hey, I made this plan to be a caretaker so that I can expand and learn love in a different way, unconditional love. And then, you know, I'm like, this sucks in this lifetime. I want to break that contract. So there's that part too. And that's kind of what I was wondering.
Right. Okay, so that is a good a question that Tina asked about. You know, it's one of those interesting contracts that, you know, overall you wouldn't say joy, joy, joy deep in my heart that I have to be a caretaker for someone, unless it's someone that you do find. I mean, I've had clients who have found deep joy in being a caretaker for someone very close to them, but in many cases it's not that. So let's say it's not that. The message that I'm getting is that if it is deeply important to the growth of your soul, even if you attempt to break the soul contract, you're still going to have to follow through with it. So it's almost like your higher self, it has a certain protective valve, is kind of the sense I'm getting. So that if this is like so key, to one of the reasons why you're here, it will remain in your life because it's so important to the growth of your soul. So the higher self was like, I really don't think you need to do that. So we're going to keep this going. So if you surrender now, can you, with your own force of will, say, forget it, I'm not going to take care of this person, blah, 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 I'm not going to do it, even though it was important for your soul to do it, and you decide I'm not going to, and you just completely resist it, and you fly off to another country, and you let somebody else take care of the person? Is there going to be ripple effect? Of course. And it probably won't be positive in that case, because you're not coming from an aligned place of the heart. Now, if you have my understanding, and this comes from a lot of different teachers that teach around manifestation. So my understanding is that, if you're needing to shift something that you created before you got here, that you're realizing, wow, yeah, I see why that was important. Is there a different way I can learn this lesson that's more joyful? Because I am choosing now to not learn this from a place of suffering or challenge or pain. So then the universe is like, okay, yeah, we can give you this lesson in a different way that is more joyful, that is more happy, that isn't, aligned with suffering, because that's actually one of the new energies coming in right now, is that we want to learn really for more joy and more happiness and less pain. So you can ask that this shift in a new direction so that the next right aligned caretaker steps in your place, and that you get to learn this really important soul lesson in a different way that is more aligned to your joy, that's more aligned to peace and prosperity for you. So you can shift and change kind of what was written in the contract, is what I'm hearing. And there is a difference, actually, there is a slight energetic difference between a vow and a contract. They're very similar, but there is a slight difference. So vows tend to be before God. This is why they're more powerful, and they're more deeper set and tend to be harder to break, because you literally went before God and said, I will be chaste unto death. I will be, I swear to poverty for all my lifetimes, or, and you lay prostrate. I mean, in the church, there's all these massive rituals that people go through to do these, vows where they pretty much give it all to God, so to speak. And so because the soul did that, the soul takes it very seriously. And so vows tend to be a deeper kind of a commitment that you have to really, work on giving yourself permission to let those go, because those vows happened at that time when you had a limited understanding of who God was, and you were being taught certain things by the institutions at the time that said, this is what you must do, where you were really actually giving your power over, you're giving your sovereignty over in those situations. And this is why it's important to break vows, because you're giving your power over in a way that doesn't really serve the divinity that you are. That even, if we could even go into the whole idea of marriage vows, right? And how you give over your power to the masculine in a way that's actually not healthy. You give your power over actually to the state, at least, in legal marriage. You're actually giving away an aspect of your own sovereignty to an institution outside of yourself. This is why I've got an issue with the way marriage is structured energetically right now, is because it's not honoring the full sovereignty of who we are. We have to really redo that whole thing, because it's not honoring the sovereignty, especially of the woman. So that's the vow. The contract, though, is not before God. Usually a contract is between two souls or a group of souls. And so those can be changed and broken way more easily, because it's just between souls. Vows usually are between you and divinity in some way. Now, you may have been misunderstood, and you were told this vow is between you and the church, right? Or you and an outside institution. So yes, for many people who were nuns or priests or something like that in a past life, we not only took a vow to, divine, we took a vow to the institution, to the church, to whatever that was. And so those layers need to be released and cleared out because they don't serve. They were from, again, when you were that person. You're not that anymore. You're not a nun. You're not a priest. You're right here, right now in this present moment. And so in this present moment, you can make a new decision. So hopefully that answers some of the questions. Okay, so we have just we have about 10 more minutes. So what I want to do is look at, let's see here. There was some energy that was in the group earlier around, well, one was about debt, but I feel that that's actually moving right now. The powerful message she gave at the beginning around giving permission, to make money. Is there something around that? Because I feel like that's still lingering. Like, wow, who do I need to ask permission from so that I can make the money or allow the money to flow or to be successful? So, Katie, were you here at the beginning when she mentioned that?
I was here for part of your initial meditation, and then I went back to work, so I didn't hear that part, but I was intending for my energy to be part of the call. So
Yeah, she did call it. So basically, I asked her to tune into the group and to see what we, as a group, needed in order to align the energy of flow and money and abundance and prosperity. And she said that we need to give ourselves permission. And so she gave the story about her husband, how she got a message from the Akashic records that she needs to go to her husband and ask permission to make $500,000. So she went to her husband and asked him, hey, is it okay if I make $500,000 this next year? And he's like, yeah. Because she was telling herself a story. It wasn't him that was keeping her from the money. She was telling herself a story that he wouldn't like it because here's his wife making way more money than he is. In fact, he left his job. He wasn't working. And so when he said, of course, yes, it cleared up the story she was telling herself. And so literally that year she hit $500,000 because energetically she opened up to let that happen. She hadn't given herself permission because of some interesting subconscious story she wasn't even aware of. So that was huge when she brought that in. The energy was like boom with the group about all these ways, either consciously or unconsciously, we need to give ourselves personally permission to make the money or the abundance that is in alignment for us. Because like she said, you may be asking for millions or whatever, but that may not be in alignment for you. Your job is to just say yes and give permission for the divine amount of money that is going to bless your life and others to come into your life. So asking yourself, where am I not giving myself permission? Who do I need to ask permission of in order for the money to come? And for me, I got a hit that I need to talk to my businesses. So this business and my jewelry business, I need to give them permission to grow. I need to give them permission to bring more money in. Because I've been telling some interesting subconscious story about if all this money comes into the business, then I'm going to be overwhelmed, So I need to clear out some of these stories I'm telling myself that is actually keeping the business from really allowing more to flow. So that was one hit I personally got. But then, it could be that you need the permission of your parents or someone who's passed. Like you don't want to make more than they did, or you don't want to insult your culture or your group or whatever. So is anything coming up for anybody that they feel needs some? Yeah.
is it me?
Yeah,
Is it me? Okay. Weirdly enough, this is totally just popped in my head, so I didn't think about it at all. My sister.
Oh, I'm getting a big yes.
Are you really?
Yeah, you need to ask your sister permission
To make
to make
more money?
uh-huh.
That is so, like, I would never have.
Exactly.
That was not a thought.
But I'm getting it's really strong in your field. Is she your oldest?
Wow. Yes.
Yeah, that's
She's
it.
my only sister, and she's
You want to be
7 years older.
accepted by her, and so I'm hearing that as long as you are, she's your older sister, she should make more money than you. She should be better off than you. And for you to
Uh-huh.
move beyond her, you're afraid you're going to lose that connection of sister.
Oh,
It's a story you're telling yourself that's
wow.
it's not true. You won't lose your sister if you start making millions. Okay, she'll be very happy for you. And I'm that you need to ask her permission.
I do. Oh gosh, I'm
Yeah.
gonna ask you about that later, or I'm just gonna replay. I'm gonna replay the call.
And do
Okay.
it in your heart first, and
Mhm.
then have a conversation with her and just say, I've been telling myself this crazy story. I don't remember your is it well what
Allison.
yeah, Allison. I've been telling myself this crazy story that if I made more money than you, that somehow I'd lose our closeness as sisters. And
Mhm.
I really need your blessing. I need your permission, because it really is a blessing you're wanting from her
Mhm.
to make a lot of money.
Mhm.
Am I just being crazy to think that I would lose my close sisterhood with you if I made more money? And just
Yeah.
open to that and ask for her blessing. And of course, I don't see
I mean, on a
Oh,
conscious level, she's definitely not gonna say no. I mean, I always said, if I made millions, the first thing I would do would be to buy land for like buy a lot of land and then have a house for myself and then a separate house for each of my family members on it.
right.
So
But you don't have to put that condition on making money.
no.
So instead, just say, I really need your blessing, Allison.
Okay.
Really
She
bring in the
might
money.
think I'm
You don't
crazy.
have to say I need the blessing to make more money than you. You just need to say I just really want your blessing for me to be wildly successful financially.
Okay. That sounds great.
And that really is going to open up the permission for you to really start bringing in what's already there that wants to come in. So you're telling this story that's blocking it. And I'm being
Okay.
a huge yes for your sister.
Wow. And I wasn't even aware of it until that popped up.
Yeah.
Not consciously.
Right. Right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's see. Stacy, you
Yeah, that was a biggie for me. Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. That was a biggie for me too. And I could see both personally and also instantly I could see for other people, and it's like, okay, well, everybody in my family, they make X amount. And so it's like, maybe I need to ask for permission. And they'd probably say, you're being silly, go for it. But, it feels kind of like that.
Yes.
And when they talked about your ancestors, it was like, oh my God, the lineal is, lower middle class, And so I could see just a whole lot of different layers and generations that it's like, yeah, you kind of do need to
Yeah.
ask permission, both those that are here and those that are gone.
Right. So what I'm hearing for you, Stacy, is for all of your lineage. Okay. So just, imagine they're all standing in an audience in front of you. And then you'd say, I ask for your permission to be financially wildly successful. I ask for permission to do that. And I ask for your blessing. And then your job is just like within, the integration constellation work. It's like you're going to move forward financially, successfully, with or without the blessing of all of those people. You're asking for it, but even if some choose not to give you that blessing, you're not going to let that hold you back. So I'm hearing do that little visual and meditation. The other thing I got really strongly is there's something about your ex-husband. It's like there's some story you're telling about you being successful and something that you're needing permission from your ex-husband. There's some weird, I don't know if you were more successful than him whenever y'all were married. There's something going on there where you're going back to an old story with him energetically, and I see it in your field. So it's about you energetically asking permission to be wildly successful from your ex-husband. It's like you're needing that permission. So maybe you blamed yourself because maybe you were more successful at the time you were married to him, or you had the ability to be, but you played small with him in that marriage. There's something there that's holding you back right now from being ridiculously successful financially. I mean, I see multiple, including possibly 7 figures for you in the next 2 to 3 years. And I feel like this energy is really holding you back big time. So
interesting, because when we first met, I had the job he wanted. And yes, it was a good paying job at the time. And then eventually he got the job and I left. So he was the big breadwinner. And then with the ranch, I played small. I could have taken it much bigger.
Yeah.
You know, so I could see.
Yeah, you're playing small. As the ex-wife, you're still playing small. So it's about you giving yourself permission to stop playing small with that whole situation. You're here now. That was then.
Yeah.
Identity of you then. But you now know you play big and you play all in. And, you know, blessings to everyone around you, including your ex and his family and all of that. But I'm hearing that I'm feeling this one needs to be like an inward meditative kind of thing where you have him standing in front of you in your heart and saying, I ask for permission to really be the big light that I never allowed myself to be when we were married. I ask permission for that now. I ask for your blessing, and I will move forward with or without it. And you do it with a real big heart.
Oh my God, I just had another ding, ding, ding moment. My dad dropped dead at 53. And immediately thereafter, my mom became a multimillionaire. She literally soared.
Yes.
From just making her wages and just getting by when he was basically an anchor.
Right.
And so it's like, oh my God, it's like the same pattern all over again.
She was playing small for your dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm hearing that being like just realizing where the pattern came from and just
so clear and delete all that crap.
And just be in a place of just, you know, it was an important learning. So being gratitude for it. And then say, well, that was me then. Now that I'm in awareness, it's not me now.
Oh, and then I just had another one. My daughter's probably playing small too.
Hello. Ding, ding, ding. So as you shift, she's going to start playing a bigger game, and she's going to probably end up, you know, making some decisions concerning her marriage, and you're going to see her skyrocket because I've told you I see that for her. So
yeah,
but she has to come to that realization. But as your energy field shifts, she's your daughter, she'll shift with it because you'll share with her, guess what? I realized. And then you can share with her what you have realized, that you need to give yourself permission to be, you know, the big light that you are, and how you played small in your marriage, and how, you know, I wonder, it seems similar in yours right now. And it's like you can have that kind of a loving conversation with her when the time's right. That will help her come into some awareness. And when you shift, it's going to give her permission to shift. Because on some level, out of loyalty, she's continuing the pattern that you passed on to her unconsciously.
uh-huh.
As you move out of that pattern, she'll shift out of it. So, yeah, that's big.
Yeah, big light bulbs. It's like, oh, that whole generational thing again.
Oh, yeah, I know. Don't we love our ancestors? Well, they're the reason we're here, so we have to love them. So,
Lord.
any other questions or anything else coming up? Okay, Africa?
Oh, here we go. I had a question. My realization, probably many times over, but definitely in the last 24 hours. And then she triggered it with asking permission. I know part of what, and I guess it's unconscious, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm conscious of it, that there's this part of me that always needs to have the complete plan laid out.
Yes.
And I will judge and decide certain things cannot bring me money. So concretely, that is, if I dive into a more spiritual business, you can't make money with that. And I quite literally was looking back through some papers just before this call, and I wrote down exactly what I wanted to do, and then I wrote, but you can't make money at that.
Oh my God. Okay.
It might be what people need, but you can't make money at that. Like I have it written in notes I wrote.
Piece of paper. Give it away. Give it back to you. Say, universe, can't spend it, because you wrote it down. So
I literally wrote it down. This is what they need, but I can't make money with that.
That one. I'm serious. You actually have to burn it off and erase, and say, I give myself permission This is what I'm hearing for you. I give myself permission to make money any way that I choose that's fun for me. That includes spiritual, that includes woo-woo, that includes whatever, witchy-woo stuff, whatever. So it's about you're giving yourself permission to make the money the way you want to make it by putting in the parts that you love. That includes a spiritual part. So you need, I'm hearing part of this permission is I ask permission of the spiritual aspects of business to give me permission to make money from them.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? So this whole idea concept you have of the spiritual, you can't make money with it. That is BS. There are people out there right now. Oh my God, they're making freaking millions being the most woo-woo people on the planet. So it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with this blockage of you not giving yourself permission to make money that way. So that's the other thing I'm hearing. If you're not giving yourself permission to make money, certain ways.
Sorry. I didn't know I was gonna write.
See, there we go. Angels are going, yes. If you're not giving yourself permission to make money a specific way because you judge it, well, that's the wrong way to make money. I mean, here's an example that a big one for me. You can't make money by asking people for money. That was mine. That I can't just ask people for money. I can't make money that way. And I was thinking, well, Linda, if you're going to move into the field of philanthropy, you better as hell know how to ask and receive because you're going to have, an empty foundation with no money. Mm-hmm. So ask yourself, where am I not giving myself permission to make money a particular way because I'm judging it as wrong or it won't happen? Just kind of like what you said. That's excellent that you brought that up because that's actually in the field. Maybe not with people here, but it might be in the field with the others that we called in.
Yeah, I also, besides the spiritual way, prior to that, I decided I can't make money by spreading joy. No one wants to buy that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, you have lines of people waiting. Joy.
And that's not tangible. There's no ROI on that. So I don't know if that's out there for someone else, but I just want to bring that up.
Yes.
Well, I just wanted to tell you something, Africa, because I started realizing that it didn't matter like what I did. It was that I had fun doing it, and then they were buying joy sometimes.
Yes.
And that was actually, and I had to get my head around it, but I'm like, well, that's really what's in my paintings. It's joy. I'm making it. I'm having so much fun doing it. And wow. And, I still have to work on that sometimes, but it's really what it is because it's then it gives them a touchstone to create it in their life.
Right.
Which is awesome.
And along what Tina's saying, the even deeper awareness here, and those who have done business, people aren't buying your stuff at all. I mean, that may look like that's on the surface. What they're buying you, your energy, the frequency of you, how you present those things that you paint or make or whatever. So I'm hearing the other thing we need to be real clear about and ask permission. Ask permission that people be allowed to purchase the light that you are, so to speak. Like purchase the gift that you are. Like give people permission to buy you, so to speak, but not in that negative way, but literally give people permission to buy you for the value that you bring. So, bye, Katie. So yes, we're all going to be wildly successful. Thank you for giving us permission. So Katie said, I give you all permission to be wildly successful. Back at you.
It wasn't me giving permission. It was just, I felt like I needed to say it. So yay. All right. Bye.
Bye. So yeah, so we all have to give ourselves permission, but yeah, there's some aspect of ourselves where we have to give ourselves permission to value ourselves so that others can value us at the level that they want to. So we have to give permission for them to value us at the levels they want to value us at, which is way more than what we put out there. And I know that's been a pretty big eye-opener for me in the past couple of days, is I've been looking at pricing new things I'm creating. It's like, Linda, you're still devaluing yourself. Stop it. So it's that old story. So I'm hearing permission to let yourself be valued at that highest level, whatever that might be for you, and not continue some kind of a story. And if you are telling a story, make it conscious so that you can let it go. So that's like another, like almost like a meta level of giving yourself permission that I'm hearing. Any other awarenesses or things coming up around any of that? I want to make sure we're covering all this energy that's here right now because it's big. Okay, so I'm just telling you what I'm seeing. So if I'm tuning into this energy, there's massive vortex, like this magnetic vortex that's actually spinning. We've actually started to make it spin, and it's spinning actually for everybody in the group. It has these beautiful, for me right now, it has this beautiful purplish color. So I'm asking about that, and I'm hearing it's clearing. There's a huge vortex that's clearing out. Now that we're giving ourselves permission, it's taking away the old stories. So I just keep seeing this huge vortex of energy just kind of spinning through all of us, and it's doing a lot of transmutation. So there's, here's the funnel of this vortex, right? So at the very bottom, at the point of the vortex, is this really just incredibly brilliant diamond light. Just, white beyond white. It's like this amazing crystalline white diamond light. It almost looks like a diamond type energy at the point of this vortex of energy. And it's really powerful. So what I'm hearing is that, okay, they want me to guide y'all through a little visual here, so you can tune into this diamond white energy. So you see this beautiful purple vortex flowing through everybody, and I want you all to put your attention on that diamond at the point of the vortex. It's brilliant. I mean, it's like the light's coming out of it in a brilliance that you've probably never seen in, on this 3D, in the 3D world. It is the most exquisite, faceted, diamond gemstone, and the light is coming out with rainbow colors everywhere. And I'm hearing to focus all your attention on that diamond light. And you're going to, okay, yes, you're going to imagine yourself reaching out and picking up that diamond light gemstone. And for some of you, I see it being placed in your third eye. And for others of you, I see it being placed in your heart. So wherever you're feeling guided to place that diamond white light, that gemstone, put it wherever you're being guided. So it could be the third eye, it could be the heart, maybe it's somewhere else. Just allow yourself to be guided as to where it wants to go in your energy field, in your body. And maybe it wants to go in several places, and that's okay. It will multiply into the places where it wants to go, so that you place that beautiful diamond light in all the places on your body, in your body, where you're being guided. And just let that energy begin to absorb into the body. And here's what I'm hearing. Oh, this is really this is very potent medicine. Okay, so I'm just going to call it the diamond white light medicine. I don't know what else to call it. It's very potent. So wherever you're placing this diamond white light medicine, it's going to amplify and expand the gifts in that area of the body, or in that area in your energy field. And in most cases, both your body and the energy field that you emanate. So whatever gifts lie dormant in those areas of the body, those are going to awaken for you at the next levels this year. And they're going to unfold gracefully. They're going to unfold in ways that you can handle them, but you're going to notice them. Other people are going to notice them even more. But I'm hearing that is the gift you're being given today by Spirit, is this diamond white light medicine that just opens up and activates the next level of your powerful spiritual gifts that you're here to give. This particular medicine is a very magnetic medicine as well. There are souls out there that need this medicine. And so they will find you. As long as you're putting yourself out there and you're not completely hiding, they're going to find you. And you're holding the medicine that their souls need right now. You don't need to know what that is. You'll know when you meet them how to serve them. But I'm hearing that this is going to help amplify your energy field. It's going to replace the old vortex of energy that was keeping you small, and it's going to expand your vortex of energy so that you are now calling in, magnetizing in the divine people that you are here to serve. You are calling in the business that wants to come into your life so that you can serve. So I'm hearing that this is an amplification energy. It is a medicine personally for you to really own the sanctity and the sacredness of who you are and the powerfulness of who you are and the ability you have to help serve and make change in the world through one person at a time, groups at a time, however it is that you serve. So I'm hearing that this medicine is unique to each person, but it is a type of pure, divine, sacred energy that is here to amplify the gifts and bring in and open up the next level of gifts for you. So I'm hearing to go into a state of gratitude for this gift and allow it to unfold in divine order and timing for you so that you might serve at this next level. It contains within it all of the support financially you will ever need. It contains within it all of the financial flow, etc., that you will ever need in this lifetime and beyond. So I'm hearing that it basically contains it all in this powerful diamond white light medicine. It's already there. You just have to allow it to amplify. You have to allow it to integrate into who you are, the divinity of who you are. You need to allow it to show up in front of your clients or in front of the people you serve or in your business. You need to allow it to show up. It's way bigger than the typical energy that you are used to, okay, of your own self. It's a bigger energy. So I'm hearing that you may surprise yourself with your boldness. You may surprise yourself as this energy really kind of encourages you to really move out there. So don't resist it, because that actually will, obviously bring in the frequency of resistance, and then this energy won't flow appropriately. So don't resist it. Just literally surrender to this powerful gift that you've been given and let it boldly take you in the next direction in your life that your soul is wanting to go in, that's going to serve you in the joyful ways that you want to serve. So there's joy already kind of built into it. Joy, money, prosperity, abundance. I see lots of adventure. I see lots of twists and turns. Like, you will not get bored with your life if you allow this energy to flow through you. So I just want to say thank you to the divine energy that is here, that is gifted all of us, including those that are not on the call right now. You are also gifted this energy. It's your job to just say yes to the medicine if you want it. You always can make the choice to say no, you don't. But know that this divine, powerful energy is here for you to support you, to bring deep healing to aspects of yourself that need that healing, to heal the wounds so that you can be a truly open-hearted being on the planet who with full open heart gives all of you, not from a place of self-sacrifice and suffering, but from a place of joy. So that's a different way to give in the world. It's to give from a place of not suffering, to give from a place of so much joy and happiness and play. So suffering has nothing to do with this level of giving. So it's not going to be a sacrifice. It's not going to be a suffering. It's not going to be a challenge. It's the old story. Okay. So I'm hearing that right now this energy is kind of erasing some of these old stories of the ways that you may have given in past lives that required suffering, that required pain, that required challenge. All of those old stories are being erased right now so that in the present moment you can start giving from this powerful place of your diamond white light. You're going to give from this powerful place of the highest joy, so that when people around you, they're like, wow, what are you doing? What are you taking? What's the magic around you? It's like you do your work with so much joy. You do life with so much joy. And people are going to just really love that infectious energy because everybody desires this. Everybody desires to really live in this world, play in this world, serve in this world from a place of this higher bliss, this higher joy that is not the old paradigm of suffering and pain and challenge. People need to see that there's another way to do this. There's another way to do life. There's another way to be in life, is what I'm hearing to tell you. And we have to be examples of that, how to be in life in a whole new way. So I'm just going to say thank you to this beautiful energy. It's going to continue to integrate for everybody. You may be feeling some of this energy vibrating in the areas where it wanted to go. You're just going to allow it to keep sinking in, receiving it with so much love and so much gratitude, knowing that it will integrate specifically into your life in the way that most blesses you. So you don't have to control it or figure it out or figure out what the gifts are. All of that will unveil itself in divine order and timing. Your job is just to be in gratitude that you received the gift and you're saying a big yes to all of it, like not limiting the bigness of this gift, like saying yes to all of it and just being in deep gratitude for the gift, that we're not alone in serving in the world as light workers. We're being given so many powerful tools, including this one, that will assist us to really help awaken this planet and awaken the light, not just in ourselves, but in all and everyone who we love and in those we're called to serve. So I just say thank you. I bring this beautiful energy back in, feel it coming into your heart. I'm going to bless all of the whole group that was here today, blessing Patricia for her love and her light and sharing of that in the world, blessing the Akashic records, saying thank you to their wisdom, blessing all the higher beings that were here, all of your beautiful beings that were here, blessing the beautiful soul that you are, that is present, courageously moving forward in life in a way that brings you more joy and brings joy to everyone around you. And then just saying thank you to the yes. Thank you to the bigness of life. Thank you to the actual energy of joy. Thank you to the energy of money. Thank you to the energy of prosperity and abundance. Thank you to the energy of our businesses that we either have or are building. Saying thank you to the inspiration that is always around us. And of course, thank you to the divine that created us. And with that, I'm going to seal everybody in love and light and say thank you, thank you, thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. So just taking a deep breath in, taking this in and setting the intention that this is going to be the most amazing, abundant, powerful day of your life. And it can only get better from here. Woohoo! All right. Let's see here. And to all, I'm deeply grateful. Oh, thank you, Tina.
Linda.
Yes.
I wanted to quickly say, what you just the transmission you just gave, I had a download of this morning.
What?
Like I wrote it down because I went when my automatic writing thing going, and I'll read it to you later because I'm thinking no one wants to hear all of it, but it was.
Oh my God, that's crazy. Well, thank you for bringing the energy that wanted to be here. I was like, what's this diamond?
Oh, that's sweet.
That's so crazy.
Linda, I'll read it if you want me to. Yeah. If you're okay with that.
Yeah. Why not?
I'm like, I know everyone has lives, so I was like, oh, okay.
You have to go, but yeah, that way, this is recording until 2, so we have about 7 more minutes.
Okay, it's not going to take that long.
Okay.
Okay, I was going about my next steps. Your next steps are being, planning, and being with emphasis on being. Yes, there will be doing. Even a potted plant is doing. It's conscious and being and doing. As you two must be conscious and being and doing. Integration and transformation are your calling cards. It's a project. It's a lifestyle. It's an experience. You lead with your lifestyle, offer the masses the project, and go deep with those who choose to have the experience. You have the ability to go deep and to help them feel safe doing so. This is the midwife journey. This is their journey from 3D to 5D. This is their awakening and deepening, their path, their experience. Divine working through you. Prepare yourself for the energetic upgrade. Thank you, Linda. Your cells, your body, your mind, your soul for the energetic expansion to create a bigger container. The fire is lit. The energy flows. Do not be afraid. Stay in love. Love makes the upgrade easier, faster, enjoyable. Let go of the fear of the unknown. It's being shown to you. It's no longer unknown. Rejoice. This is a moment that your soul has longed for. It's a moment you have requested. This is your desire answered.
That's amazing. That's crazy. Did you actually see the diamond light energy in your mind?
I didn't see anything. I literally was just writing. You know, I just get in those writing modes.
It was
and
getting
I barely keep up.
That's crazy. Oh my God, it got you prepared for receiving today.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's very cool. Woo, it's those kinds of things that make me go, okay, I'm not crazy and making shit up.
No,
Sometimes I wonder.
that was a total upgrade energy that everyone needed. So.
Woo, yay. All right. Well, I'm going to send lots of love to everybody. I'm so glad you're able to be on the call. And please let people know about the Academy. This is such a great energy that's come in for this year. And there's so many blessings for those that want to join. So let your friends know they can either just do these group calls or they can do the other one where they get a private session with me and the group call. So I'm meeting some evangelists to like tell people about this Academy and the benefits that you've received up until now with it. I'm going to continue to have guests every single month on different topics that are amazing lights, just like Patricia, that bring up these powerful, energies in areas where we need to shift and align. And it's no mistake. I see the whole energy for this year is each time that we have a group call, the energy knows what's needed for all of us, and things will shift for us. So it's literally supporting us in the growth through all of 19 is what it's doing. And so, and it's building on itself. So when I tune into like, so what are we doing in October? I hear, don't worry about that. Focus on March. So it's not even letting me make plans way ahead because it's about us staying in the now. So what I do is I tune in each month and go, okay, who wants to come in and do the magic with me this month? And so Patricia came up just like that, since we're working with money this month. And that was like one of the big things that came up. So I have a whole list of other practitioners that I'll get the hit when I'm supposed to invite them, and they'll be jumping on to service. So I wish I could tell you, hey, we're going to have this and this and this and this and this. Spirit's going, no, don't do that because you're going to have to change it. So I'm like, okay. So I'm just listening and being in the now. But I just know that the energy of what's being created for us is huge. It's like this massive foundation that's being laid out. And it wants to be laid out in this way through these group processes. So I'm so glad you're all part of it. So please let people know there's so much wonderful gifts here for everybody. It's sad that they're missing out. So anyway, well, I love you all. Blessings. We'll see you very soon. Bye.
Love to everyone. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
So grateful.
I'm having lots of joy doing this. Bye, everybody.
Bye.